Okay, so we have a table with information about the heights in centimetres of some Year 11 girls. And we're given, what are we given? The minimum, the least height. We're given the median, the lower quartile. Ooh, and we're given the interquartile range and the range. That's slightly unusual. I was expecting the upper quartile and the maximum, but never mind. We are asked to draw a box plot for this information. Now remember, and let's just pop down to the box plot on the other one, that the box plot shows the minimum and at the other end the maximum, okay, which is why I was expecting the maximum. It also shows in the middle, it shows the median, and then it shows the lower quartile and the upper quartile. So let's put those things on. We might have a bit of work to do, but that's okay. So the minimum is 154, and using the scale carefully, one little square to 1, that's 154. And then the median, they tell us, is 165, so that's there. And then the lower quartile is 161, so that's there. And then they tell us about the interquartile range, which is, of course, the distance between the quartiles. So let's draw a line which is 7 long here. Okay, that's 7, the interquartile range, and so the upper quartile will be at the top end of that, 7 little squares away from the lower quartile. And in a similar way, they tell us the range, and the range is 20. So the distance between there and let's go 20 up to there, that's the range. And so the maximum value will be here. And to complete our box plot, we box in the 3 middle ones and put some tails or some whiskers or some sidebars, whatever you want to call them. So there they are. Right, that's my box plot. Now we're asked to compare the distributions of heights of Year 7 girls, that's this box plot here, with the Year 11 girls, that's the table and the box plot that we've done there. Okay, now when it says compare the distributions, it really wants us to compare the middle of the distribution, that's the median, and one of the measures of range, okay? And we're going to use the interquartile range. And we'll do or find those for each of Year 11 and Year 7. So Year 11 and Year 7. Now, the median for Year 11 we're given, it was 165, so we can just pop that straight in there. And in fact, we were given the interquartile range for Year, excuse me, for Year 11, so that is 7. And we can work those out for the Year 7 girls. Here's the median, okay, so let's actually just work out what that is. Well, that looks to me to be 157.5, and there is the median. And the interquartile range, well, the lower quartile is there, which is 154.5, and the upper quartile is 165. So that's 165 minus 154.5, which is 10.5. And so now we have the two things we can compare. So we can say, on average, the Year 11 girls are taller. That's not a surprise, is it? Okay, so Year 11 girls are taller. And our evidence for that is that 165, the median, is greater than 157.5. And then we need to give something about the measure of spread. Okay, and the measure of spread is much bigger for the Year 7 girls. So the Year 7 heights are more spread out. Okay, and that our evidence for that is the interquartile range. So they are more spread out. And the evidence for that is the interquartile range is 10.5 is bigger than 7. And notice, in order to get my full marks here, I've done it in context. And I've done that by talking about taller and heights, okay, which just puts the question, or my answers rather, back into context, which is important.